I have one chatter, but 0 viewers. The view counter stuck at 0. So I'll just sit around for a few minutes, and then I'll get into the subject matter of my live stream. I'm seeing 2 viewers. Okay, there we go. Oh, 3. How does the audio sound and the video and so I changed the setup around from last time. I have more technology set up now. I have I bought another capture card so that I can actually connect the screens better. Excellent. That's good, as long as there's no choppiness or anything. I think I'm probably on the edge of like what my computer can actually do. I've got like a USB extender thing with like 7 plugs in it, and I've got 2 capture cards plugged into that. Greetings, hello. Found your channel recently. Love that heart symbol hides one of the words. It's quite annoying. Probably delivery and style. Thank you. We're up to 7 concurrent viewers now. So yeah, I have my my itinerary, my subject matter for tonight on the screen. It's this whole live streaming thing is interesting because I have to think about not only how people are going to view this live right now, but of course the stream will become a VOD. So right now I'm only talking to 7 people, but more than 7 will watch this. So it's an interesting world we live in. This new way of socializing. So just about 1 minute and then I'll get started. If any of you have questions about my what I've written, what I've got on the screen so far, let me know. From UK, hope you're well. 3 a.m. here. Yeah, it's hard to figure out when exactly to stream to hit everyone. I was planning to do this a bit earlier, but then it's just so much tech to set things up. I bought a longer cable, but I think I bought a cable that's too long because it doesn't, the screen shuts off every once in a while. So I changed the the frame rate, the refresh rate from 60 to 30, and that seems to fix it. So it's probably just the signal is attenuating too much with the long cable. High res. Do you mean that the video is high resolution, or? 2 seconds. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. All right, so I will start talking about what I wanted to go over. Yeah, so the question I asked myself is, what exactly am I trying to do with this whole live streaming thing? And you know, 'cause of course I've checked out a bunch of other live streamers, and you know, there's like the big ones, XQC, and all the people who stream on Twitch, and you know, I look at that and I'm like, is that the goal? Like, if you become successful, is that what you become? And of course, the whole social media influencer thing is what everyone is doing right now. But you know, is that a desirable career path? And I've started to think more about I think people simultaneously idolize but also loathe the concept of like influencers. It's something where people kind of elevate influencers to like a celebrity status, but at the same time they're like, those you know, loser influencers. They're so entitled and stuff like that. And I've kind of started to think of it more of it's actually neither of those things. It's more like, to be a successful influencer, it's more, I don't even think that term makes sense. It's more like I think this is going to be the future of how like you just build any business. So like if you want to be a successful bakery or something like that, then you become you know, a local cake influencer or something, or like the local town blacksmith or something. It's like a local it's just it's like a redevelopment of, you know, normal, the old way of doing things through social media. And cause recently, I mean, it's been going in this trend, but the pandemic accelerated it so much. I used to go to meetups a lot, and recently I've been going to more. I've been looking to see what kind of meetups are there, what social events are there around, and almost all of the meetups are. There's less meetups, first of all, and a lot of them are they're these like online only meetups. So it kind of defeats the purpose. It's like a Zoom call where you go and meet people, and it seems like, whether we like it or not, that's the future we're going toward. So this is our only choice for building communities and so forth. It's just so much more scalable. What are we up to tonight? Tonight I'm gonna just talk about some thoughts I have on community building. So a couple of people have asked me about like setting up like a Discord, or you know, like a subreddit or something like that. And you know, there's enough people. Like I can go live, and there's like, I'm not talking to 0 people. And of course the last 2 live streams, there's like maybe 1,000 total views over the next few days. So I think it's meaningful to talk about it. Yeah, there's a lot more remote events going on, although at least in Sydney, physical events are starting to pick up. Yeah, it started. I don't know where things are going, because it seemed like real world events were starting back up, and because people were saying, oh, it's recovering after COVID, but at least here in Canada, at least in the Kitchener-Waterloo area, it doesn't seem like it's like there was one like business networking place where they had one event. They had like a beer and wings night or something to meet up and talk about startups, and then I've been checking their calendar again, and they just don't have any after that. I don't know. Maybe there's not enough interest, or maybe this might be maybe it's localized to Canada here because things are our economy's not doing as well as the U.S. right now. But I think either way, it's kind of weird because so many more of our social interactions are online. I think it's really about the like physical efficiency, like the energy efficiency of socializing through social media is just so much easier. And I've had like a couple family friends and family and like people I went to school with who I haven't chatted with in quite a while, and they'll show up in my comment section, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. It's like it's harder to communicate through email, but then like communicating through the comment section on YouTube is just easier somehow. All my meetings are on video calls, even though my coworkers in the same floor of the same. Yeah. It's and I mean it's like going that in the workplace, but it seems like in that's bleeding out into the real world. And of course, like for just general meeting people, it's the algorithm can match you up with exactly the people. Like, of course, every society and clubs are completely disappearing from my Unity. There were a couple of attempts to throw an event, but nobody shows up. Yeah, and so that's the kind of catch-22. And so there's my my experience quitting Facebook. So back years ago, I kind of feel like I like to think it anyway, that I'm ahead of the trend on things. And I deleted Facebook way before it was cool. In 2014, that's when I deleted Facebook. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna like, message people. I'm gonna send, direct communication, and I'm gonna socialize in person. I'm gonna meet up with people. And that was an interesting experience because a lot of the people, it was interesting. There was like a different set of people who responded to me more. There were certain people who I socialized with a lot, like very frequently on Facebook. And a couple of those people completely dropped out of my social circle. Like we just kind of drifted apart. And then certain other people who I didn't talk to quite as much, they were like way more responsive when I said like, hey, let's go have lunch and stuff like that. It's kind of funny how that is. I guess that's that was also a feature of Facebook I found, was that on Facebook you might check up on someone a lot more than they check up on you. You might be very aware of someone, and you just go off the internet, really, like you know what, really, social media is the tool, digital dehumanization of human. Yeah, but the thing is, like, there is no alternative. Like, there's nowhere to go. I mean, not you. Oh, you mean the other chatter? Yeah, I'm not sure, but either way, it's like this slow. It's like when people were. I mean, in general, yeah. I mean, it's like, of course, that's the ultimately you want face-to-face interactions are just. I think nobody objects to the fact that face-to-face is just so much better, but the scalability and availability is just so. It's so readily available, and like back to my experience in quitting Facebook was that there's a certain section of people who I was in contact with who I just kind of it wasn't so much about the experience for me. It's that now, since I'm not on Facebook anymore, everyone just forgets that you exist, and over time, if people are like inviting someone, if you're not on Facebook, you don't get invited to the group event or whatever. And so it's like the availability of people, which wasn't really a big deal because I was busy with work and stuff, and I probably trying to build my business, so I probably wouldn't have gone to that much of that stuff anyway. But what is happening now is like people say like, oh, you should get away from the computer, go outside, go meet people in person. But the thing is, everyone else is online all the time, so I tend not to post as much on mainstream social media. Seal engage with smaller forums, Discord servers. Yeah, a lot of people are on. A couple people mentioned, setting up a Discord server for the channel and stuff, and that was one of the things I'll probably talk a bit about. I probably won't do any kind of Discord servers or Reddit or anything like that for now, but I may try to start doing some kind of semi-regular live streaming. I probably won't set like a date, but find that more rewarding. Get to directly interact with people with the same interest. Yeah, and I think that's really the big thing. It's like you can't going to the mall or like going to like people have just stopped bothering to go to meetups and stuff. Because when I went to meetups, they're really hit and miss. Some of them you meet, like I did meet some interesting people at some of them, and you have to like kind of go to a few different meetups, and then one you'll realize like, oh, this is really interesting. It's really about the people, not necessarily the topic, and that keeps you coming back. And then there's a few other meetups where I went and I'm like, these people are kind of weird, so I'll probably just never come back. Yeah, not having to compete with general algorithms or generalized environments. And that was one of the things I find, like a lot of people today talk about like quitting social media or social media detoxing, and I've come to think that when people say they're quitting social media, they'll say, oh, I'm quitting social media for my mental health, and it's like it's about me. But I've come to realize that I think when people say they want to quit social media, what they really want, they want everyone else to quit social media. They want like everyone, they like want to go to the mall and see some people there or something like that, but those people are all doing whatever on social media. Or I think some of it is also jealousy. People see someone else gets a whole bunch of followers on LinkedIn or whatever their favorite platform, and they're like, I they're getting ahead of me in life. It's like you can people see it. People get right into the competition for some of these things. If you want to make this for money, go ahead. Don't want to do a bad thing. Just telling you. Just stop interacting online. All the people that I know just stopped interacting online after about 7 years. Oh, you mean like on Facebook? Yeah, I think I still don't use Facebook. I have it like a business page, but I know a lot of people, the engagement is gone down a lot. Use the help pages. Never truly understand your program unless you analyze binary data. I guess so. Wish that was the case for me. I'm tired of I'm not quite sure what you mean by the shorts, like the shorts videos, I guess. It's like avoiding the mall, instead going to smaller coffee shops. Yeah, actually I did go to, well, especially here in Canada, things are changing so much. Like the world is changing faster than I can cope with. I went to a coffee shop and decided, I haven't been working a lot. I'll go treat myself, have a tea at a coffee shop. And the tea was like, it was like $5 for this small tea, and it wasn't even good. And so I had that, and this the immigration that we have here has like totally changed the makeup of the city. It's like it's almost like it's changed to a completely new demographic every year here. It's and with the economic slowdown, it's just everything is everything is changing like crazy. This community sounds interesting. Makes me look inward and want to improve. Value brings community. Land-use content is valuable. Nothing in terms of community. What? I have been in the YT since 2012. Lots of the big YT from now on and then. In the past, they get the 15 minutes of famous, get all the money from format, and when it doesn't pay the bills, they stop. Can't wait to see what you come up with. Coffee shop is probably a bad example. Smaller, more topic-centric. Book clubs. Yeah, I mean, there's of course opportunity for all that stuff, but it's just I kind of think it seems inevitable that the online stuff is it's just it has to be a component of like it's becoming like being terminally online is becoming a normie thing. That's really kind of the one of the points. Is real estate where you are in Canada? I think Canada, where I am, I think is one of the most overpriced. It's the most. I think it may be one of the most expensive in the world right now. It's like we're in a crazy bubble. Another miracle that I found is happening. Do you publish notice? No, I haven't. I still haven't figured out live streaming that well. Yeah, the format's kind of confusing to me, but eventually I'll figure it out. Is there any VTuber FOSS? I'm planning to study for embedded systems. Greetings from the USA. Canada and Australia are among the highest in the world. Yeah, it's pretty crazy here. The real estate is insane. Yeah, that's being terminally online is quickly becoming the standard. Yeah, and it's and that's why I think it probably will make sense for me. Like I kind of don't want to live stream. It's I'd rather just like sit down and write stuff. Do it like when I started. That was one of the other things I wanted to mention is that when I started like writing the this here document, I'm thinking, hey, I should figure out what I want to say, write like a script, or like think about my thoughts clearly, write them down. But I'm like, wait a minute, that's basically a video. That defeats the purpose of a live stream. You're not just reading from a script. But it seems like it's like we have to be terminally online. We have to be constantly, live streaming. And I made it. Let's go past stream time. Funny that meeting in the world is becoming less and less mainstream now. Yeah, it is bizarre. I mean, I think it will still exist. Probably what will happen is people will meet up in online formats like this more, and then that'll translate to meeting in person. I was thinking last night about how counter it is to current norms to disconnect. Yeah, it's like not embracing the online media world is kind of becoming it's the new equivalent of like being Amish or being a hermit or something. Yeah, and then of course like and then my next point here, I think I covered all those points. So yeah, it's and it's also social media. It's like asynchronous socializing, because I've had since I've been publishing so many of these videos lately, I've been talking with a couple people I know and like a couple family members who watched my videos, and I'll be telling them about something, and then they'll like finish my sentences because like they watched a video I made about something, and it's really weird. Like I could be talking to someone and they have no idea, they've never watched any of my videos, or they've watched like every single video and they know like they remember stuff in the video better than I do, which is it's like this, it's a very strange new world that we're accelerating into. You don't have to be charming, just that you have to get money and live your life outside. So that brings me back down to my next point is we now live in an actual dystopia. I don't know if this is maybe this is more true here in Canada, but like there's just there's the people outside, like so many people are just not doing well. There's so many, like I was in the dollar store today, and there was a man who's like couldn't stand up, and he had his pants down around his ankles, and he was like wandering around like trying to like take stuff and shove it down his pants, and he was obviously just trying to steal stuff, just and stuff like that is just becoming increasingly normal. Would you consider a rate limit or message vote system to prevent sidetracking your time? It seems takes a lot longer for you to get your progress done. I think it's fine for now. I guess that's kind of the point of live stream, is to get distracted. Isn't? I guess if it has a negative effect on the viewer experience, then maybe I'd have to. I can be Section 9, like Ghost in the Shell. This world's almost becoming Ghost in the Shell. I don't quite understand that reference, but I think Ghost in the Shell, that's like an anime or something about I know it's something I know it's like it's about like technology and hacking or something like that. I'll have to add that to my to-do list of things to watch. Social media is extremely individualistic. It's not aimed at socializing. It's made for hedonistic pleasure. It's. I mean, that's another interesting argument. Is you could say it is, but then also the government will probably intervene in the future, and they'll say, actually, no, we're going to make everyone pay attention to this or that. How can we fix the dystopia? That's a good question. I would like to hope that maybe I can make a little impact on that with some of my videos. Get people some. That brings me to my next bullet point here. Is I figured that if I'm going to establish a community, I should broadcast like what's important to me, and what I would like to be important to everyone who's here, all the 41 current viewers, and that is I'd like to bring together people who have a shared belief in the benefits of technology for empowering individuals. So I make all these videos about Linux commands, and just because that's something where I think there's a niche, there's just a gap in the market for these commands, like the runcon command. There was no video dedicated to the runcon command before this, or which that one's a bit more useful than like PTX command, or and I think even some of the ones where there are other videos, I did a decent alternative. But the aggregate, if you watch one video, it's not a big deal. But I think if you go through the whole short series of Linux command videos, then you'll probably learn. You'll have to learn a thing or two about Linux. And I think in another life I probably would have become like an academic, and maybe become like a researcher or something like that. But of course that, if any of you who are familiar with, all the crises that are going on in academia, the papers, the fraudulent papers, and the abuse of grad students and stuff like that. There's a lot of issues going into that. If you want to make a big impact in the world, I don't think that doing a PhD is the best way to do that now. I actually think if you took all your PhD energy and just pour that into making really good YouTube videos, that is very likely to have a much bigger impact. What do you do outside forever? It's just empty and full of asphalt. Yeah, it's becoming summer now, so there's things are improving a little bit. Literally walking. Yeah, I like to go for long walks as well. Problem is not when users control. It's when it's That's a really. I think you nailed it on that. I really like the idea of the benefits of technology that individuals can leverage. So letting people can maintain control over their own environment and not having because we people talk a lot about the benefits of technology, but it's only a benefit if it benefits you and not the person who's trying to control you. And that's unfortunately that it seems like that's why I think we're kind of on the track for a dystopia is if people don't disentangle that difference, that we need technology to benefit individuals, not some one or two monopolistic companies. This common problem sounds like a good idea, but we need software solution. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by software solution. What's your favorite Linux command? If you check my most recent shorts video, I made a video about that. I have 25 years and can't talk with people my age. Worse with minor. I can talk from 35 and up. Not quite sure what you mean about that. If your city is walkable, then yes. This city's not. I'm in Kitchener, Waterloo area, which is not too bad. A friend, I've been feeling more and more dissociated. The dystopia is failing. Yeah, it is. It is kind of collapsing. I mean, one hope is that people are gonna start to realize oh, we should fix this. And part of it is it's the it's the consolidation period from the pandemic and stuff. Learn a bit of control of the machine. Do to what? This is what I mean. Could you use Facebook internal knowledge to build open source social media website? Mastodon. Yeah, Mastodon is. I haven't even gotten around to thinking about Mastodon. For now I'm gonna stick with the YouTube is the mainstream. So there wasn't a good video. There wasn't a good video on NoHub. I have a video on NoHub. Do you not like it? The NoHub and yes command shorts have been helpful to me. Oh, maybe you mean there previously wasn't a good NoHub video, and mine was good. You're a great essay writer, which is no nonsense. Videos are great. Thank you. Demand page for seeing. I use demand page after seeing shorts. Robert's channel is one of my favorite. I used Robert's channel to get a better Linux user. Thanks for your help. No problem. It's imperative to push free and open source software forward. Yeah, I think it's there's open source software means one specific thing, and free software, and I think all of that stuff. Every kind of idea of just getting getting more individuals to be in control of the technology instead of having all this stuff just be centralized. I mean, it's the way it's going. It's it almost feels like it'll be illegal to open the Linux terminal someday. Ever heard of LoRa? It looks cool, like radio. Yeah, I've heard about that. I think LoRa, if I remember correctly, it's a proprietary protocol, though too. So it's heavily patented and a bunch of stuff. But amateur radio is pretty interesting, and if I had more time, I'd look into that stuff. Power behind the corpse trying to own all the tech they sell to us is great. It's going to be very hard to handle, hard to battle. Yeah, I mean, it all depends on what the government does. One big issue that seems to repeatedly happen is that, people will say the big companies scare us, and they're like, oh man, we need to regulate this, and then the government creates regulation that's that's like complicated, so like small people can't comply with the regulation, and then the big companies are the ones that they're the only ones who can afford to comply. So then it basically, it actually exacerbates the problem rather than fixing it. AT command is very useful. I think fixing it needs real human connection and communication IRL. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, real human connection and interaction is never going to be. It's always going to be the most valuable. Yeah, not that online needs to disappear, but I think it's the way we're trying. It's basically like, it's kind of like if you want to go to a place and meet people, you go where people are. And people, if you ask where are people are on the internet. 38 people right now are, I just click go live and there's 38 people. Whereas if I go walk around here, I mean, even if I probably go to a bar, there's probably not even 38 people in there. And I'm sure they're like not interested in the same things at all. Do people still dislike System D? That's a debate I don't have any strong opinion on. I don't know enough. No, I have used System D like a bit, but not enough to like it or not like it. The global economy already blew up in 2008. Something better is coming. I hope so. YT is a prime interactive media technology. It's incredible how much knowledge is shared in this age. Yeah, it's YouTube is awesome. Like, it's just so good that there's like so much good information. Like, when I compare stuff, the news I get from YouTube to like television, like there's a couple like it's just random stuff that you wouldn't really, you probably even think I'm interested in, but there's have any of you guys seen, there's a YouTube channel about a guy, what's the deal with shipping? I think that's the name of his channel. I would like every time he has news items, I watch that to see like what's going on with shipping. I watched even before the that bridge collapsed in Baltimore. I'm starting to get behind. Niche communities still harbor distaste for System D. Which distro do you like the most? I might do a video on that later. Run developers who love System D. Favorite init system. Extend backdoor, interesting. Brought up a lot of good discussion. FOSS, like supporting maintainers who are burned out and vulnerable to social engineering. Yeah, every time there's a major vulnerability in one of those open source packages, people brings that topic up again. Limited government is good government. Yeah, there's lots can be said about government's involvement in tech. It's my favorite stream. Excellent. What would you think about cryptocurrency and blockchain? I have lots of thoughts, but I'll maybe package that into a future video or something. I think government reputation is always BS. And members of society recognize problems, look down on them. Yeah, I mean, governments are just composed of people, so it's kind of governments are like an emergent phenomena. So like, yeah, I mean, lots could be said about that. But next comment, it's hard to tell some of the people are. It's hard to tell with some of these people are niche echo chamber communities. It seems like it's bigger than it actually is. Find the more I use it, the more I tend to enjoy the structure. Yeah, that's another interesting topic that I've noticed. It's easier for people to get like in these kind of, you can develop like idiosyncratic language and there's all these like weird made up words that only exist in a specific community, and if you're not in the community, you don't understand. And it's almost like we're developing, like when you go really far into a community, you end up developing your own little language. But it's not just geographic anymore. It's like, people who do like old ladies who knit things and watch YouTube videos about knitting probably have their own like code language that they talk in all the time, and no people outside of it don't understand that. Watching from the Netherlands, by the way. Can't sleep, and this is the most interesting thing on. Oh, I'm flattered. I think the biggest thing that is a lot of connecting in the real world that it costs so much to be in. 20 AD for 60 ml can of beer. Yeah, I mean, I mentioned earlier that I went for a tea. I just which said, I'll just go to a cafe and just sit there by myself and have a tea. And it was like $5, and it was not good. This is wrong. Talking to someone who maybe knows when you stream, it's just like talking for a multitude of people. Yes, what's going on with shipping? A real slice of worldview. Yeah, I find channels like that interesting because they're, and it's always interesting to watch those channels because to watch an actual domain expert, because when they report on stuff, they'll be like, okay, so today we're going to talk about this, and by the way, the mainstream media said this, and here's why that's wrong, and then they'll analyze it. Like I think one of the things that actually with that bridge collapse, they said that the data recorders like lost. There was like some mysterious 2 minutes of data that was missing, but it was what actually had happened was when they lost power, the sensors turned off, so it stopped recording data because there was no data to record. But the media kind of went with it, and they're like, oh, it's something sneaky and suspicious here. But there's actually like two systems, and because the power failure caused the data input to cease, not the recording to cease. What's going on with shipping? Yeah, it's and there's a bunch of channels like that I watch that are just so interesting. What's my dude streamed again? Hey Robert, new here. You into the cyberpunk genre? I guess I like. It's kind of hard to define what cyberpunk is, but someone's revving their engine outside. Yeah, I like the cyberpunk aesthetic. Like if Google for cyberpunk. Well, I guess I've got a kind of cyberpunkish theme with my lights going on. Another streaming queue. What is the graph? Rocks in the middle of. I'm not sure. It's coming from the window. I guess it's probably maybe. Oh, it's probably total streamers graphed over time. Do you think AI is the future? Could we have personal AI in the next 10 years, or will government block? I kind of think when it comes to AI, like anything the government is going to try, like the government is from another generation, and anything in AI is the government's gonna be incapable of regulating it. It's out of the box. I see this, my Discord community. Thinking AI is out of the box already. Lots of acronyms. Crocheting is mint, no lie. Gives my eyes a break from the screen. Yeah, it's kind of interesting how pleasurable it is to just do like. For a little while, I had a garden on my balcony, and it was just it's so fun to just. It's just so pleasurable to get up from the keyboard and go, water my plants and look at their progress every day. Every bullet point of that TXT is written like a political statement. You are not building a community, you are building a party. Building a party versus a community. Yeah, but I mean, a party is a type of community. Okay, I'm caught up on chat. Yeah, so like I said, my some of my core beliefs that like if I noticed in my a couple of my last live streams, I lost 10 subscribers from my last couple live streams, and I assume probably what will happen is I'll probably continue to lose subscribers from the live streams, because I guess it's when you do a live stream that people will see, like your real personality. And there's probably some percentage of people who watch the live stream and are like, that's not like, I didn't expect this person to be like that. And then they'll unsubscribe. So if you're if you're someone who's not an enthusiast in, enabling people to be in control of their environment through, learning technology, bettering themselves, then, you can go ahead and unsubscribe. Expeditionary Force series, really good. Note of spam. Note of spam. Yes, it's bad for some people. I'm not sure what you mean by that statement. I'm not even a sub. Yeah, I think YouTube has just figured out that in fact, a lot of the channels that I watch the most, I'm not subscribed to. It just, subscribers are kind of like a vanity metric now. Those viewers aren't in for the long-term interaction format alive. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of things that go into it, and I think some people also like unsubscribe and then probably continue to watch too. But I think over time, YouTube is probably just everything you put out is like a new piece of data to try and like be like, okay, here's the center of the audience, and what they actually want to see. Pretty much the same on stream as in your videos. I guess that's good. I guess maybe YouTube like selected you to see the videos because you can you can accurately see through the difference. And however, you're turning on notifications for lives. Generally found immense value in the channel last year. Linux command is my favorite series. Stories, I believe it was the cut command. I've been following since. Yeah, and the other thing is, it seems like due to the way the world is, there's a new market niche for people just trying to figure out how to navigate the world. When you go to university and stuff, it used to be a sure thing to get a great job when you go to university, but now there's a lot more traps in the world, and so I think a lot of people are just looking for a place where they can talk with other people, share experiences and stuff. But like here's how to navigate life. Here's how to like if you do go to grad school, this is what you should do, and so forth. That's such a basic command, and I didn't know it hadn't stumbled on its use. Yeah, it's there's so many of those. I guess that's why I did all of them. It's because they're basically baked into every Linux distribution, and they're in the POSIX standard. Most of them are in the POSIX standard. So it's even though they're kind of old and some of them don't work that well. Yeah, there's I think a niche in actually doing videos on them that were good, and it seems like I think doing this series took me from like 3,000 to like as around now 30,000 subscribers. The viewer retention software is amazing. He must be favorite YouTuber, YouTube AI. Yep, that's what the YouTube AI says. Yeah, so presuming that I do try to develop a community of some sorts, that's going to be my focus. Is kind of just I would say a more general extension from the videos that I've made so far. So I've of course got the Linux command videos, and then also a video that's trending quite a bit right now. It's been out for quite a while. Is my how to make a CPU video, and it just I like the idea of just making simple, short pieces of content like that are fairly impactful. That how to make a CPU video, that was a lot of work, but I'm sure someone out there will watch that, and then some teenager will watch it and be like, oh, this is how you make a CPU, and then they'll Google some of that stuff, and maybe that will actually lead them to go on to go and do semiconductor development, or maybe we'll get some homebrew CPU out of it. I think that's key. Not only do we need open source software, we need open source CPUs. The cut and dry style with the props, absolute masterpiece. Duo also extremely shareable. Loving the Linux commands series videos. Yeah, that's where most of I think most of you are probably from, is from the Linux command shorts. But hopefully it seems like YouTube hasn't really shown my last 30 days of videos, long form format ones, that much. But hopefully it'll eventually push some. It'll probably figure out which one of them is like the best, and then push that one out. Yeah, and so I guess the next topic is during the last live stream I did. It made me realize this. I probably will have to think about something about like moderation, and because there was one person chatting. There's like, I don't know what they were talking about. Just it sounded like they were just crazy. They were talking about super insane stuff. Honestly, some people for their streams and their community, they have these like rigid dictatorship like rules, and they have 10 different rules. And honestly, I don't really care. It's like if you want to criticize me, if you want to say bad things about me, that's fine. If you I would say if you do actionable stuff is preferable to if you just want to like be mean and hurtful, that doesn't accomplish anything. But if you're like, hey, you got something stuck in your teeth or something, that's actually useful. So I think I'll probably make the rules. I will enforce the minimum amount of rules that I possibly can. So don't do or say things that are illegal. Don't violate the terms of service of respective platforms. And then I think probably the last rule is, like I said, I probably want to moderate as little as possible. So I obviously there's some people, some of the when I look through the people's profiles, some of you are like real professionals who are doing really interesting stuff. You're working in academia, you're working at a big tech company. So like, actual functional professionals and stuff like that. I'll probably not moderate. So like and there's also like some of you are, I think, totally crazy. They're like, I think some people, probably a lot of people out there who, probably a big percentage of YouTube people who are just like really crazy. And because they're so crazy, they're not out doing normal stuff. They just sit around watching YouTube videos all day. And so when you get some of those people in the chat who are like saying just like super crazy stuff, that if there's too much of that, that'll scare away the more normal people. So, as long as you're not interfering with other people's ability to benefit from the chat. So me, for example, absolutely insane mental. Yeah, I think it's actually, I think it's fine, because like there's a lot of people who are, terminally online and kind of like on the edge, or, I mean, I think if there's not only do I want to teach people stuff, but I think the idea of like having a pathway to rehabilitation. So for some people who are like, especially people who are like young, who maybe like 14-year-old kids who just are raised on a computer, if you like somehow fall into here, then and you are like saying super crazy stuff, that's maybe fine for a while, as long as you're not like too crazy, and then you can slowly be rehabilitated once you learn all the Linux commands, and then you get a job, then you can go from being like a crazy 14-year-old to being a functional member of society. Going to do something illegal and crossing the street without looking both ways. I think that might be. It depends where you are. That actually, the government watches us all. Yeah, that's that's true. In terms of like illegal stuff, that's actually I almost rewrote that bullet point because there's there's an interesting thing to say about like the definition of illegal is interesting because something that people are not super aware about is there's a difference between civil law and criminal law, and so in criminal law, if you do something that is a criminal act, then the police are enforce criminal law. But in civil law, like if I say something insulting to one of you, or you guys say something insulting to me, that's not necessarily. People use the word illegal kind of ambiguously to sometimes mean like civil violations versus criminal acts, and so I'm focused on criminal. So don't commit illegal criminal acts. But if you say, because I know some people, when they set up their rules for their community and stuff, they'll go on for like they'll basically just redefine everything that's already in the law, which is kind of pointless because like if you say like no sexual harassment or threatening people or something like that, that's already illegal. So you don't it's kind of redundant to put that. Let's see. I missed a bunch. Loving Linux command videos. Cut doesn't allow multi-character dividers. Yeah, a lot of the core utils don't do multi-character stuff. Government's watching this. An online community done well, found can be so empowering in delivering more into passions. Yeah, I mean, community is it's a word people throw around a lot, but if you can actually find like, there's a reason that human beings spontaneously develop communities, is they're useful. They're it's nice to have one of those. Did a good job in the previous live stream, ignoring one person with a lot of non sequitur comments. Yeah, that was you're probably talking about the same person that I was. Yeah, I think probably people. I don't know. I guess I haven't looked into the moderation chats. I don't even know. Like if I had to ban one of you now, I don't know how to do it. I have to go like look at it and probably watch some tutorial videos on it. But I guess you can like time people out and stuff. So if I get someone who's doing a bunch of that stuff, I'll just be like, yo, chill out, and then just time them out. And then if they keep doing that, then be like, okay, this person's not right in the head or something. I think the main point is like if I let people get too if like there's a certain subset of like 4chan people, if they are like talking like 4chan too much in here, then we don't want to scare away like some of the higher quality people who might come here and be like, yikes, I'm getting out of here. People have no parental guidance, have grown up with only iPad as guidance. Yeah, even something like that is like, I think when you get that combined with like also mental illness and stuff, watching YT is kind of terminal. Jaywalking is not illegal anywhere. I think in Seattle you can get fined for it or something, but again, back to like civil versus criminal law. I don't think it's a criminal offense. I'm pretty sure it's not a criminal offense. It's probably just like a bylaw infraction or something. Learning Linux commands saved my life. Excellent. That was my goal. I think the next standard around the world is not illegal to jaywalk. I think the standard around the world is not illegal to jaywalk. Yeah, I don't know. That's, again, it's one of those things, like the word illegal is ambiguous. Police have leniency in their enforcement as well. I stole, say for example, I stole $20 out of your car, out of your pocket. The act of stealing is criminal, but the act of paying it back would be considered civil. I'm not sure that yeah, I don't know. Civil law is primarily concerned with like agreements between like, for example, with businesses. So if I agreed to pay you $20 and then I failed to do so, that's not, but even though, even if I have like a $20 bill sitting on my desk or something, then you can't just take that $20 bills. You'd have to go through like a civil process and like escalate stuff, and then you'd have to garnish it and yada, yada, yada. And that would be a civil process. And that's sometimes where people get themselves into trouble, where if one business will, like you have sometimes with like contract workers, someone will come and do a bunch of like brick work or something like that, and then the person doesn't pay them. And they're like, oh, I'll show them, I'll come back and destroy all the work I did. And then that ends up being a criminal offense. And if they had to pursue them in court, it'd be a civil. Right in CA. Slander is illegal. Yeah, there's all kinds of jurisdictional differences, and I don't know them all. That's why law is so complicated, and you need lawyers. And like when you get a lawyer, you have to get a lawyer that specializes in one or the other. Because if you get like a criminal defense lawyer, he won't know anything about like business law. How's it going? Not too bad. Court could force you to pay restitution in a criminal case. That's not civil. Yeah, I guess there's some like overlap. Sometimes things like as a result of criminal court proceedings, they could make a civil. They could try to enforce something that goes into civil law. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't. It's a bit out of my domain, but on a personal note, I found your level of thought and consideration in speech to be refreshing. You're a smart person. Thanks. I remember studying with some younger students at uni once. They would nonstop blasting TikTok full volume in the background while studying. If you cut a sandwich in half, will you have two halves of a sandwich or two sandwiches? That's a good question. I think you would have two halves of a sandwich, I would say. It's super refreshing to talk to people who put this much thought into their words. I gotta figure out how to get rid of that heart symbol. It's always blocks my view of words. They're putting thought into words at uni. I haven't yet. Yeah, so that basically takes me through. Let's see, how long have I been streaming? Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably I had a little bit more here. What's my plan for the future? So I'm going to continue the short series if you're interested in my plans for the future. And if you've been following my saga to get paid, I actually did get paid the remainder of what was owed from my main client. So that is awesome. That puts a bit more money in my bank account to make more videos. And I'll probably continue to live stream randomly. Some of this has been a bit of a test every time because I have to figure out how exactly to get the streaming software set up, and testing all the cables and refresh rates and stuff like that is a bit of work. Does anyone know the hearts are streaming up inside? That's a good. I thought that meant maybe someone liked the stream or something, but it's like it's like yeah, I don't know what those icons are. Strange. Hi E. Hello, Thomas flies planes. If I damaged one's property, then immediately reimbursed or replace the value. I think it could be either. So if you intentionally damage someone's property, then that would probably be considered criminal. And if you did it accidentally, then it would probably go through civil court. And like depending on if they I guess if someone wakes up and then some property's damaged, they might call the police, and then police will investigate, and then if as a result of the police investigation, if they see you like sneaking up at night and you trying to do this on purpose, then they would maybe press criminal charges. But then if the police see like surveillance video and they're like, oh look, someone just accidentally bumped into this thing, then they'd probably like track down the person, and then it would become civil law. And actually, I think that's a frequent point of confusion when like the public is looking at the police and how the police handle stuff, where people say like, oh, that's awful, the police won't do anything. In a lot of cases, as soon as the police identify that if a certain bad thing happened, if they identify that it's actually a criminal, or sorry, if it's not criminal, it's not under criminal law, and for example, it's like some accidental damage to business property, at that point the police are like, okay, this is not a criminal matter, so you guys have and that's the other significant difference, is if you ever do have to go through that process, criminal law is prosecuted by the state or the government, but civil law is it doesn't, the police don't help you in civil law. They don't set up the court dates and stuff like that. So you are the parties involved, primarily the plaintiff, has to do most of the work. So you have to go to the court, you file the stuff, you set up the court dates, you pay all the stuff. Whereas if you violate criminal laws, then it's the police who do all that stuff. So what's your setup rocking? I've got two like USB capture cards. So I've got the HDMI out from this and the camera, and then those go into I have a seven connector USB bank, and then those go into the computer. That's my current setup as of today. And then I bought a bunch of extra long HDMI cables, which I guess one of them was too long because it started at 60 hertz refresh rate. This monitor wouldn't work. I'd turn it down to 30. Could depend. Typically, a district attorney. He's the only one who could bring criminal charges. This is not my domain of expertise, but I figured it's in the context of like talking about right or wrong. I thought it's I never really knew about the difference between criminal and civil law, but I think if there was I honestly think that our society would really benefit if more people just understood that there's a concept called criminal law and there's a concept called civil law, because there's so many situations where people I think get needlessly angry, saying like, oh, the police don't do anything or something like that. What it is, like, it's just, it takes work to prosecute things, and if it's in civil law, the police don't do anything. Yeah, if your brakes went out and slammed into someone's car, or you were driving drunk. Yeah, I mean, driving drunk, that would be under criminal, but if anything accidental would be, unless it's like negligent or something. Sir, this is a similar matter. Heard that before. Yeah. And the entire process for like going through court is totally different. There's like so many different rules and stuff. It's like I think it's like completely different courtrooms, and I think like on the outside, if you've never had any interaction with the legal system, you might not think it's a big difference, but in practice it is. What's your editor of choice? I use Vim. Okay, yeah, so I will continue to live stream randomly. I guess maybe I'll try to figure out how to set up those notifications. Actually, when I did set up this live stream, it has a little counter that says like, here's how many people are waiting. And I did see it go up to 1, and then it went down to 0. And then, so I don't really know how that works, if it's even in the, like, if it shows up before I start streaming. The next topic is, if you've been following my Renoviction saga, a couple of the tenants actually did get some more eviction notices. There's a couple of people who set up, some of the people who are working on the tenants union to try and set up some meetings to talk about who's getting evicted and stuff. That so they're like the main people behind it, and they got an eviction notice. They got an eviction notice saying that they were harassing people, which was kind of amusing. But I still don't have an eviction notice myself yet, fortunately. But it really seems like they're coming, because there's like 80 something applications to put dishwashers in basically every unit. What to stream in the future? So I mentioned during last stream that I'm not good at multitasking. I know a lot of people do do like live coding and stuff like that. I guess I could. I think that's kind of boring. Yeah, I mean, I would almost want to like rehearse it beforehand or something to make it like actually valuable enough, but I'm not sure. I guess I'm still in the experimental stage of live streaming. So I may just I guess you probably noticed that this is a different camera setup. Do you guys if you guys watch the other live streams, do you have any preferences on the camera setup or the views or the colors? I'm just kind of trying random stuff to see what it looks like. I'll probably watch the VOD back a bit myself, just to see what the viewer experience is like. I was in business long enough to notice personality difference between VI and Emacs users. Oh, interesting. What's the difference? Purple is nice. Green was annoying. Yeah, I think a lot of live streamers are use purple. So I guess that's a vote that it's to look like a real streamer. Purple is the streaming color. Don't give in to the man, Robert. Yeah, it's I mean, the real issue is like the market rate for rent here is $2,100, and right now I'm paying $1,100 is my monthly rent right now. So it's almost it's just about double, and so if I get evicted from here and go somewhere else, then it's immediately double, and then I mean. Yeah, then it could even go up even more. I mean, we could be like $3,000 a month rents in like a couple of years, which would be like insane. It's just things are there's too many things in the world changing at once. There's all like the rental stuff, and then of course in the digital world we got all the AI stuff, and it's crazy. I think the live stream is more of a just chatting vibe rather than he's doing XYZ with chat. Yeah, it's I think if I tried to do work, I would just end up getting distracted and talking to chat the whole time, and then I wouldn't do any work. And so I think it's maybe better to I'm not sure. I guess that's probably yeah, I don't know. If some people probably go to live streams to socialize, some people probably go to actually learn stuff. It is kind of useful to just to watch someone do a task, because sometimes just like in the first 2 minutes you'll see someone do something a certain way, and you'll be like, oh wow, I didn't even know that was possible, and it really gives you a big productivity boost. Difficult to go into the personalities in chat. Yeah, I could probably guess what some of the differences are myself. Like the camera setup. Yeah, maybe I'll stick with this one. This one's my 50 millimeter. Or I don't know. Maybe I'll try. I'll try experimenting with the different lenses and the different colors as well. I think this camera is for just chatting. Green camera is great for concentrated topic streams. Yeah, I don't know. I'll maybe do a bunch more experimenting. You just need a hoodie. It's to really drive. Yeah. I thought about putting on a hoodie and having the hood up and having the whole, but it's actually starting to get a bit warm, so it would have been too hot. Pair programming session with one of your viewers. I guess that would have to be coordinated and stuff. Robert is single threaded. It's not async. Yeah, my brain is single threaded. I'm here to socialize and help if I can. NixOS video. I don't know anything about NixOS. Yeah, so as my bullet point says, I might just do office hours. I've thought I might actually use it for brainstorming, developing video ideas. So like while I write my script for a video, I'll just do like a live stream and start talking about it and like bounce ideas off people. And Robert needs to have an interrupt timer to check the chat and should ignore us. IMO. Yeah, I need I've set up some interrupt hooks in my brain. Context shifts are expensive. Yes, yeah, that is absolutely true. My context shifts are extremely expensive. I found it actually takes like it takes a very long time. If I've been like not working on a project, it takes me like 1 8-hour day of working, of just like looking at the code base and doing nothing to like load the context into my mind before I can actually do useful, productive things. All right, I guess that's everything I had for tonight. Yeah, so this was not I didn't do any technical educational stuff. Yeah, the technical educational stuff is hard to do on live stream, especially because like especially for really dense topics, I have to like practice stuff and kind of perfect it. Otherwise, it's too easy to like, give out wrong information if I don't check stuff. And oftentimes, even when I'm writing my videos or writing an article, I'll be writing something, and then I'll write a sentence or say something, and then I'm like, oh wait a minute, is that actually true? And then I'll Google it, and then I'll go down this rabbit hole where I spend hours on it and realize that what I said, the thing I was about to say, was not actually true, and then I learned something else. And usually those are some of the most interesting topics because they bring up something else that a lot of people don't think about. Take a long time to load in RAM. I'm excited for the future of Robert Elder community. Yeah. So, and a couple people mentioned something about like setting up a Discord or something. I probably won't bother doing that. I guess the community for now, the community will just be like the chat or the comment section. But the idea of building a community that's in the long term, that seems like a desirable thing, and it seems to be like what everyone is going to end up doing in the future, like real world communities. A new channel member. Awesome. Thanks for joining. Yeah, it seems like the thing that like to join a community, you're going to first start with some online community. And hello there, welcome. Oh, someone else became a member. Excellent. Yeah, well, welcome. Yeah, for the next little while, I'm just going to do. I have to catch up on the shorts. I still the last shorts video I did, that took a few days, and I just barely finished it a few hours beforehand. So I'm gonna try to get a queue of shorts videos set up, and then also because my client paid me, that unfortunately means I'm gonna have to go back to doing some more work for him. But that's good, because that'll also bring in more money in the long run. That'll fund more videos and more growth of the channel. Chat emojis for membership. Yeah, I never really even thought about that. It was a thing that YouTube asked me when I was setting up the memberships, but I kind of just figured no one would use those. But working is easy. It's counting money that is hard. I guess. Getting people to pay you is the really hard part. In exchange for membership, I mean. Okay. You'll make chat emojis in exchange for membership. I don't know if you can gift membership. Not sure. I mean, if you're between jobs right now, you just likes and subscribes, and the algorithmic signals are more than enough. Holding back on I can't, that heart symbol is in the way. I need to stop holding back. Embrace the YouTuber role already. I mean, I am. I'm here live streaming. I think you can gift 5 memberships per month. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. It's hard. Yeah, it is hard to count money if nobody's paying you. But fortunately, I mean, that's such a relief when the money comes through. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else I have to say on these topics. How long have I been streaming? I can't. I'll have to fix it next time so I can actually see. Do you think tech companies will keep laying people off? I think 84 minutes. It's a decent live stream. I think probably a really, really big deal to watch for is interest rates. So if the Federal Reserve lowers interest rates, then that'll definitely put some gas into the economy. And I mean, it has the direct result of because now it's like physically easier to borrow money, and then that money gets invested and it makes cash flow more. But it also means, like, if people are anticipating bad economic future, companies, like, for example, even my behavior, like, I will, if the banks lower, drop interest rates like crazy, I will start to think like, oh, okay, I know that this is going to gas up the economy, so I can spend a bit of my money because now I have more confidence that people are going to pay me in the near future. So I think if interest rates come down a bit, that'll definitely make the economy will go on a tear for a bit. But of course, the problem is inflation. That's the reason they raised it so much in the first place. Oh, enjoyed the stream very much. Please continue as convenient for you. Yeah, I'll maybe I'll try. I don't want to promise things because then I'll just violate my promise. But maybe I'll try like once a week or something, at least. U.S. Treasury yield curve has been inverted for 500 days. Bad times ahead. Yeah, it's I think what's usually supposed to happen is that they increase short-term yields and then people start to kind of recalibrate, and then the long-term yields get pulled up as well. I think that's what's usually happened historically, but we'll see. There's people like Warren Buffett that always have this kind of like undying confidence for America, and we're going to be great forever and stuff. But we have so much debt now, and we have the demographic situation is. This comes back to my we live in an actual dystopia statement that I made before, where there's just so many when I go further on the topic about community and meeting people and stuff. I went for a walk. I go for walks sometimes, and people my age never interact with me, but I've had multiple situations where elderly people will come up to me and ask me for directions. I had this 90-year-old guy. He was at the wrong area on the street, and he asked me for directions to a sleep apnea clinic because he has sleep apnea, so he has to figure out where this place is to go there. And he looked quite, he looked very, very, he looked like he must have been at least 90. Low interest rates and inflation. Thanks, Biden. Yeah, it's the political landscape too is there is no political representation in US or Canada where I can say oh yeah, that person is going to fix everything for sure. Money is just something to throw off the back of train. Yeah, that's I guess how the government thinks about it. Do you have any open source project that got some traction? Not really. I have some stuff on my GitHub. Yeah, I have my my diff tool. I think that's under my Robert Elder Software GitHub. I have an accompanying blog post about that diff algorithm, and I get some emails about that sometimes. Promise can be solved. Not to mention price of gold. Yeah, I haven't checked the price of gold, but I saw some headlines saying it's gone up like crazy in the last few days. Money is a vehicle. We want to see you successful. Oh, thank you. Thank you for being interested in my success, and I hope for your success as well. I have some friends that worked for Fang, making USD, but living in Canada. They bought a house. Cogently too, it was tiny workman cottage in the East Coast, East End of Toronto. Yeah, that would be the plan. I think basically all of my friends who left Canada, especially, and went down to the States, did very, very well. Do you think NVIDIA can hire enough high quality people? Probably. There's the supply for tech people is huge. It's we've been telling everyone to go into tech. It really is it's tough no matter what you do, but if you can get those big tech salaries, you can do very well. I mean, the other thing is like skilled trades. We do have a pretty big deficit of that, but there's also like a lot of those companies too. They hire like the companies that do. There's like a small number of companies that do a lot of construction, so they kind of gatekeep who they will hire, and they like will only hire certain groups of people and pay them next to nothing wages. But I think if you can be in like a semi-rural area and do like your own contract work for construction, you can do pretty well. I'm glad to hear the person behind the favorite commands. You have valuable experience and insights, Robert. Glad you're doing this. Well, thanks for. I'm glad you guys enjoy it. I get asked a lot for directions and help. etc. Yeah, there's been a lot of lost people wandering around here lately. Robert must be asleep on disk now. Not sure. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Or maybe I'm getting tired and I'm starting to get a bit slower. I think spike in gold. I think the spike in the price of gold corresponds with the new U.S. budget being passed. I guess they can print enough dollars. Yeah, I don't know. It's I mean, I've heard things about like that China actually has like secret gold reserves that are like 10 times what they publish. But then also like Russia has a lot of their currency reserves, or like their stored money was in gold. So I don't know, there could be someone's gearing up to try and dump it on the market, or who knows what's happening. It's I mean, it'd be hard to predict. If you knew how to predict it, you could make yourself a billionaire. 5 a.m. here. Time to go back to sleep. It was nice catching you. Yeah, 5 a.m. It's past your bedtime. Tech gold rush. Skilled trade tech jobs are the most underpaid, however. Yeah, I don't. It's not clear what's going to happen especially with all the AI and. I mean, I also find that companies don't even a lot of the leadership in companies don't know how to even evaluate who knows how to do the job. Like I've interacted with startups where the people these visionary founders are hiring, like they'll hire a web developer to do embedded systems development or vice versa, and they just have no idea how to even hire people. I'm going to locksmithing. It's very computery now anyway. Yeah, that's a popular hobby for computer people. As economy tanks, I think it's this crime. It's behind the heart crime rises, locksmithing booms. Oh yeah, get into before we get into a. Yeah, I mean that there could actually be some real merit to that, getting into doing some kind of a career involving locksmithing. People probably will thinking about that a lot more. I'm friends with a couple criminal attorneys, and they said that folks don't have enough dollars to pay for their crimes, so practices suffer. Yeah, crime is starting to get kind of crazy, and there's lots of cases where people are not getting prosecuted. Hopefully that fixes itself and we get some leadership and governance. Let's hire a JavaScript dev to do our microarchitecture performance tweaks to our ASIC computer chips. Yeah, I mean, there's tons of founders that start companies and try to do stuff like that, and it's people ask why like labor force productivity is so low and stuff like that. And if they're doing stuff like that, you have to wonder like how many people of of the right background are they hiring that are just not very qualified. All right, I think I'll probably call it a night. Yeah, I'll probably leave it there. Have a good night, everybody.